This past weekend, we had the return of Oleksandr Usyk and the return of Tyson Fury, as we saw probably the most anticipated rematch of 2024.
Oleksandr Usyk is the king of the heavyweight division. I think this definitely laid a lot to rest that Oleksandr Usyk is the better fighter.
Oleksandr Usyk is the modern version of Evander Holyfield. Once it's said and done, he's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of heavyweights.
I'm not even heavyweight. One of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean, his accolades speak for themselves. He's undisputably right now the number one pound for pound fighter in the world again.
Well, there is one challenger that had to voice his opinion. Danny Dubois went on the mic and said, "I want my revenge." I think it only makes sense. He's the only world title that's left. Give him Danny Dubois.
Welcome back to another episode of the Last Round Podcast, where we cover everything from traditional boxing to influencer boxing and everything in between. In today's episode, we'll be going over Oleksandr Usyk's unanimous decision win over Tyson Fury as he retained his heavyweight titles, and also we'll be talking about what's next in the horizon for both fighters. But before we get into the episode, make sure to like and subscribe and follow us on all forms of social media. Lastly, don't forget to join our Discord. We're trying to build up a server, and you guys joining will be greatly appreciated. But now diving into the episode. This past weekend, we had the return of Oleksandr Usyk and the return of Tyson Fury, as we saw probably the most anticipated rematch of 2024, with both fighters coming in to clash once again for a Riyadh season. Now, this fight was, in my opinion, a lot of expectations were supposed to be met, and I think it did fulfill them to a certain degree. It was a more competitive fight than the first one, not as dramatic, but we were able to get a clearer indication or a clearer result in the aspect of seeing who was the better fighter.
Yeah, I think it's clear that Oleksandr Usyk was the better fighter. Oleksandr Usyk is the king of the heavyweight division. You know, perhaps some people called the first fight not a fluke, but, you know, Oleksandr Usyk slightly edged it because of the 9th round or this and that. I think this definitely laid a lot to rest that Oleksandr Usyk is the better fighter. And even both versions of Tyson Fury, a heavy version of Tyson Fury and a light bouncing version of Tyson Fury, they do not come anywhere close to the level that Usyk is at.
Yes, this there's a lot of a lot of mystery when it came to Tyson Fury coming into the rematch. There's the bouncy version, the version that pulled up for the first fight. And the second, on Friday when he tipped the scales at 281 pounds.
It was actually one of my favorite moments in the lead up to the fight because he didn't even take off any clothes. He came in fully clothed and weighed in on the scale. Like, I was like, okay, come on, man.
Yeah, he didn't need to. He already knew he was going to come in heavy. And 281, the heaviest he's ever been for a fight, heavier than any of the Wilder fights. And people were already very surprised or shocked when he came in that heavy in his 270s against Deontay Wilder. So even against Francis Ngannou, which people won't really care about, but he came in heavy for that fight too. Regardless of that, 281, a lot of people were saying, oh man, Fury is going into the fight to smash Oleksandr Usyk to pieces. People were saying this is going to be the version of the Kronk style, the same version that pulled up for the second Deontay Wilder fight, where he just absolutely bullied and brutalized Deontay. But we got the exact opposite. I felt that Tyson Fury, even with the weight, wasn't able to utilize it to its full capacity. Of course, he did have moments of success where he did land clean, and I'm sure that when he landed those clean 1-2 punches or even the nice uppercuts, that he would find success in between the rounds. I'm sure they did sting Usyk, but he wasn't really able to kind of bully him around. He was kind of more on the outside of the ring. Usyk did a fantastic job once again being a dominant factor or dominating the center of the ring.
I think it was the game plan for Tyson Fury to, obviously come in heavy and try to bully him. And there were some moments that he did, it was a lot more on the front foot and a lot more trying to stand his ground compared to the first fight. You know, the first fight, he was bouncing around up and, you know, around the ring, running. You know, he wasn't really standing his ground at all. This fight, he tried to do it, but he still couldn't. I mean, the Oleksandr Usyk came in with those feints, with the footwork, you know, that elite Ukrainian dance type of footwork, and it mesmerized Tyson Fury. I mean, he tried to go forward and he found very little success. So I definitely think, you know, even though he tried, I think this was probably Tyson's better version than the first fight, and even that wasn't in comparison to Oleksandr Usyk.
As a Tyson Fury fan, I would love a third fight between the two. I know right now it's Usyk and now Daniel Dubois, because Daniel Dubois is the IBF world champion, you know. But as a Tyson Fury fan, I would love to see a third fight, because I truly believe that you know, as you said, the Kronk style. I feel like Tyson Fury wanted to use that type of style, but I don't think he used it to his full advantage. Okay, that's granted. And I'm gonna say something, because you guys are both of you guys are my brown brothers. AI had it 10-2. Usyk, you know, this is the first time in boxing history AI has been used, and it gave it 10-2 to Usyk.
Yeah, I mean, the AI judge, you know, a lot. I don't know. Some people online were saying we're not really happy with the scorecards. They were saying, oh, 8-4, it's a little too wide, which I don't share that sentiment. Honestly, I had the fight 8-4 for Oleksandr Usyk as well. But, you know, some people were kind of complaining. But when they saw that AI judge, I mean, that AI judge had it 10 rounds to 2. That's kind of crazy. So, first time using the AI judge, and it gives a pretty wide scorecard.
It was funny, too, because the AI judge also gave 2 rounds in the fight, like 10-10 for both fighters. The first, and I think the last round, they gave it a 10-10. So, I mean, when do you ever see judges have 10-10 rounds like that, regardless of the outcome of the fight, or regardless how competitive a fight is? So even then, yeah, 10-2 for Oleksandr Usyk from the AI judge was a bit too wide of a gap, in my opinion. Some people online I saw were saying, oh, that's actually kind of close to what I had. They're saying they had like 9-3 or something, stuff like that, which even then I think that's still a wide scorecard. I think it was a lot more competitive than what they give it. But yeah, the AI judge, of course, it had no effect for the final outcome of the fight. It was just used as a mostly an experiment, kind of
a learning curve.
Yeah, see how it could be implemented, or how it could be adjusted for perhaps future usage of it for an actual fight. Which, if it does come to that, it's going to be a very interesting time in boxing. We're going to see the revolutionized version of boxing in the future with the implementation of AI. But as of right now, I'm completely fine with not using it for to actually dictate the outcome of a fight.
No, I mean, I think definitely the fans would have protested like crazy. I mean, if the AI judge was actually scoring the fight and his scorecard mattered, 10-2, everyone would have lost their mind. But this goes, I guess, to a larger point. I mean, all 3 judges, in exact agreement, 8 rounds to 4 for Usyk. Was that a good scorecard?
No, when I scored the fight, I gave it. I thought, well, first off, let's get it clear. Oleksandr Usyk won the fight. There was no doubt about it. He won the fight. But it's always about how did he win it by? Did he win it, you know, a 7-5, 8-4, 9-3, a 10-2 like the AI judge gave it? Personally, I gave it a 7-5 for Oleksandr Usyk. I thought that as the rounds progressed after the second half of the fight, it was, I mean, Usyk was surging. He's a machine. He's got cardio. He's got the stamina. He's got the output. And he even for his age at 37, 38 years old that he is, the fact that he's able to keep up that rhythm and keep up that output for a 12-round championship fight against a man who's outweighing you by like 50 pounds, it's impressive, and it tells you a lot about the skill and the type of fighter that Oleksandr Usyk is. So I think the scorecard was fine, 8-4. Maybe, you know, if I look over it, maybe I could see a swing round in there that maybe I gave to Fury, maybe give it to Usyk, or even vice versa. So even though because of that, I still believe that Oleksandr Usyk won that fight.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clear. I mean, if you're gonna be like the biggest Tyson Fury fan, the best thing you can say is that Usyk was fighting for a draw or a win. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that Fury won that fight, and I know
That Fury won.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that that Fury won. Fury didn't win. I mean, Fury.
You said Fury won that fight, so Usyk.
There's no doubt in my mind that, there's no doubt in my mind that Fury. I don't know that Usyk won.
Yeah. Okay.
Fury didn't win the fight. I'm saying, and I saw after the fight, he got on the mic and he started saying, I think I won that fight by 3 rounds. I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy talk. I don't think maybe he'll look back on the fight, and if he's actually objective, he'll see that I did not win that fight.
Well, I mean, even if he does look back at the fight in the future, even for this post-fight conference, he spoke about the first fight, and he still said that he believed that he won that first fight too. So I think Fury is going to be sticking to the mindset that he won the fight. Maybe, when he's older, retired, a couple years into retirement, he might look back and maybe admit that he didn't win the fight. But speaking of Tyson Fury, though, this was the best version of Tyson Fury I've seen in a very long time. It was a lot more disciplined Tyson Fury, a lot better version compared to the first fight. He made the fight a lot more competitive, in my opinion. But even though we saw a more polished, a more better and improved Tyson Fury, it just tells you, and he couldn't beat Oleksandr Usyk. It tells you the level that Oleksandr Usyk is as a fighter, and the fact that I mentioned in the last episode about the generational heavyweight run that Oleksandr Usyk is going through. I mean, he keeps fight after fight keeps on proving it, as he's cemented himself officially as the greatest heavyweight of his era.
Of this era, and it's kind of crazy because he's only been a heavyweight for what, 3 years?
Yeah, not
4 years,
4 or 5 maybe. At most.
Not even that long. I mean, he didn't even start his career at this weight class. Everyone is always clowning, or I guess it's mainly Tyson Fury that was clowning him, calling him a middleweight. But I mean, it's crazy. Tyson Usyk, 6'2", like around 230, I believe, right? 230 pounds.
I thought it was like 220.
230,
whatever,
around there, around that weight class. I mean, it's crazy that he's able to beat up these guys that are like 6'9" and 280 pounds. It's really impressive. And there was some, he talked about it after the fight that he's kind of thinking about, or I think before the fight, he was thinking about going down to cruiserweight, and he was saying, it's too much. The heavyweight division is too much. And I personally would not like that, because I think there's a lot better fights, and it's more interesting if he stays in the heavyweight division. But it's crazy to think that he believes he is also a little small for the weight class, and he's still beating the top guys there.
Okay, look, I know a lot of people don't agree with AI, the scorecard. And I think for me, I don't really agree 100% with the AI scorecard, which was 10-2. Okay, that's fine. But I truly do believe that Usyk won this rematch between Tyson Fury. And as a Tyson Fury fan, I'm hurt because, like, I'm a Tyson Fury fan, like number one fan. I don't
that
watch.
Is true.
I do not watch the Netflix show, but in my heart, like, I was going for Tyson Fury. That didn't happen. The reason why that didn't happen was because Oleksandr Usyk is the modern version of Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, I mean,
Evander Holyfield, when he was undisputed cruiserweight, when he made that transition between cruiserweight to heavyweight, a lot of people didn't believe in him, and he proved a lot of people wrong. And time and time again, Oleksandr Usyk has proven us that time and time again, you don't want to bet against him, because when you do bet against him, it doesn't look good.
I mean, I said that last episode. I bet against Usyk a lot of times when he moved up to heavyweight, and every single time he's proven me wrong. So I wasn't gonna bet against him this time, and I was proved right. Oleksandr Usyk pulled out the victory. So hats off. I mean, hats off to him, and he did what he had to do. And I think what I most liked about his game plan in this fight was his commitment to the body. A lot of body shots, especially like in the first half of the fight. He was going down to the body. He was, okay, the head, don't worry about the head shots. Worry about the body shots. And I definitely think that paid off dividends in the fight.
I mean, the body shots were game plan from the first fight, even though that's what got him the that money shot in the 9th round in the first fight. The fact that he kept on going to the body got Fury thinking, oh, he's just gonna keep on going there. Dropped his hands low, and then boom, up top he was able to land that nice overhand left, and then hurt and drop Fury in the 9th round.
I mean, in this fight as well, that going down to the body led to a couple of punches that hurt Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I would say Fury throughout the fight was hurt multiple times. I feel though, even though he was hurt, the thing is was Tyson Fury, he has the recovery time of a demon, man. I swear, he gets hurt, and then like the next couple seconds, he may be still wobbly, but after the next round, he's completely fine, and he's back to doing his normal thing, jabbing, trying to clinch, uppercuts in there, and I gotta respect that, man. I mean, there's not many fighters who possess that type of skill of being able to recover. It also plays a big factor that he's also a huge, massive heavyweight, one of the biggest heavyweights we've ever seen in boxing.
No, you know what it is? It was that beard that he grew.
Yeah, that was big controversy.
I know it was.
That was the God of War Kratos beard.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Usyk's team requested him to get it trimmed, but they didn't.
Denied by Turkey himself.
Yeah,
he had money on Tyson Fury, he denied that shit.
Throughout the entire build-up for Fight Week, Turkey was very adamant or very vocal about who he was siding for, and he was siding for Tyson Fury, and it was obviously. The obvious reason was because we're still looking at that Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, Wembley 2025 showdown. So not only is that still a big heavyweight fight, but that's a huge money fight for both parties.
Not only that, I mean, he also wanted the trilogy.
Yeah, that too.
He said it. They were interviewing him, and he was saying, "Yeah, I want Tyson Fury to win." And they're like, "Why?" He's like, "I want the trilogy." I mean, that's another big money fight.
It is. I mean, I'm saying Fury winning by any indication was a positive. It was a win for Turkey and a win for Saudi Arabia. Keep hosting these big heavyweight, more specifically heavyweight money fights in Saudi Arabia for Riyadh season. So. Yeah, it was very apparent. It was very obvious who Turkey was siding for. In fact, I would say a lot of the I mean, of course, there was like Eddie Hearn was siding for Tyson Fury. I mean, they're both Brits. They're gonna go for each other. But it felt kind of. It was kind of a little off for me seeing how Turkey was very vocal about picking sides, considering the fact I felt like he would be more neutral in that manner. But I mean, he's got the money; he's able to just throw it out to whoever he wants. So I guess he doesn't really care if they don't like it that he's not siding with them or not.
Oh no, Turkey's a gangster. Turkey don't give a fuck, right? He'll say what he says. He'll say what he thinks, and he doesn't care who backlashes him, whether it be Canelo, whether it be Frank Warren, whether it be Eddie Hearn. He doesn't, or another fighter, Gervonta Davis. It doesn't matter for him. So, yeah, it was. I guess it was kind of surprising. You don't really see, because Turkey isn't like a promoter type. He doesn't have like fighters on that are signed to him. So, he's kind of in a position where he does host the fights, but since no one is signed to him, I guess he's a boxing fan at the end of the day, and he can have his own pick of who he thinks is gonna win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I love Tyson Fury, but just like Turkey wanted Tyson Fury to win, he didn't win. So now he's going to go with the Usyk train. Because I honestly do believe that Usyk is really definitely doing something generational. I think, I truly do believe that once it's said and done, whenever Oleksandr Usyk decides to retire, he's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of heavyweights. I truly do believe that. Because he's such a guy that he's only 6'2" and he's beating guys that are 6'9". That is something that I don't think that we have ever seen. Even like the old heavyweights, like a 6'2" guy beating a guy that's 6'9". That's crazy. That's almost like a David and Goliath type of fight That's almost like something that you normally don't see. That's something that you almost just hear about, and now we're just seeing that.
Well, I mean, David Hay did beat that one a big well, I forgot his name.
I don't remember his name.
Yeah, that's the Russian guy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, so there's already an example of that. But in the grand scheme of, I mean, I don't think there's any debate that Oleksandr Usyk, when he retires, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, undisputed champion in 2 different weight classes, absolutely steamrolling the very best fighters in both divisions. There's no question that Oleksandr Usyk is monumentally going to be regarded as one of the greatest fighters. I'm not even heavyweight. One of the greatest fighters of all time. I mean, his accolades speak for themselves. He's undisputably right now I would say number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world again.
Okay.
It keeps on changing. It's always going to keep on changing, man. But you're coming off from. You retained your title 2 times against the same guy who was regarded as the best heavyweight fighter in the planet. So you've done it twice already, and you've done it in grand fashion. He's continues to impress me. Like I mentioned earlier in the episode, his gas tank is absolutely elite. His output and overall his skills as a fighter is what separates him from the rest of the talent pool in the heavyweight division. And I don't see any heavyweight as of right now who would be willing or who would be able to stop this run from Oleksandr Usyk.
Well, there is one challenger that had to voice his opinion during Usyk's post-fight post-fight interview. He crashed it, in fact. Daniel Dubois went on the mic and said, "I want my revenge." And there was a big controversy surrounding their fight, which is the fact that, I mean, Dubois landed illegal shots that had Usyk on the ground for like 3 minutes. 3 straight minutes had Usyk on the ground, and a lot of people have contested whether it was a legal shot or an illegal shot. Now, Dubois is the only one in Usyk's path to regain the undisputed championship once again, holding the IBF. So maybe that's next for Usyk.
I would say that would be the most ideal path for Usyk. I mean, it also depends on what he wants to do, but like you mentioned, he talked about going back down to cruiserweight. I mean, he's got a lot of options here, but hey, Daniel Dubois is open. Daniel Dubois is there. Daniel Dubois is currently in the best form of his career. Ever since he lost to Oleksandr Usyk, he's been on the pathway. Most notably, his last fight against Anthony Joshua, where he sparked him out and looked absolutely destructive while doing it too. He dominated Anthony Joshua throughout the entire fight. There wasn't even a minute in there that he didn't look where he looked in trouble, or any moment where he looked that he was in a moment of panic. He looked fully in control and was able to stop him. So we're looking at the best version of Daniel Dubois as of right now. And of course, he should be very confident with himself, more confident so in the aspect of, hey, I dropped this dude before. Yes, they may have not given me the knockdown, or most notably the knockout, but I'm capable of, quote unquote, hurting Oleksandr Usyk. Therefore, I'm in the best moment in my career. I'm in my prime. I may have a shot of beating Oleksandr Usyk, but does he have a shot? Let's be honest here.
I think he does. I mean, he's a hard puncher, and just like you said in that first fight, I think it was a legal blow. I'm gonna be honest. I definitely think it was legal. Usyk played it off, and hey, hats off to him, right? The referee sided with him, so it was illegal. It was illegal, but I mean, I definitely, if I was Usyk, that'd be in the back of my mind. And if I'm Daniel Dubois, I mean, that's on the forefront of my mind. I'm definitely thinking, hey, I can get this guy. And even I rewatched the first fight actually a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think Daniel Dubois performed his absolute best. And it is hard to say that against a guy like Usyk, because honestly, no one looks their best against Oleksandr Usyk. He's one of those type of fighters. But I definitely think, especially right now, how Dubois has been recently looking, he can put up at least a challenge. I mean, we got to throw somebody at Usyk. Yeah. He can't just be the king of the heavyweights with no one challenging him. So I definitely think, I think it only makes sense. He's the only world title that's left. Give him Daniel Dubois.
Okay, so I'm a Tyson Fury fan, but I'm also a Triple D fan. Daniel Dubois fan.
Or Daniel Dynamite.
Daniel.
Dynamite. Yeah, I think it's Dynamite.
It
I'm
is
pretty sure.
Dynamite.
Yeah.
Daniel Dynamite Dubois. Oh, dude, I'm a huge fan of him. Oh, dude, for sure. Ever since he called fucking Millard,
Yeah. Big Baby Miller.
Big Baby Miller, daddy. I was like, oh yeah, dude,
my
you're his fucking daddy, dude. You're not gonna like Miller thought he was like the shit. He was not the shit, dude. Daniel, dude. Ever since then, like I was like, oh, dude, I'm riding on that fucking hype train. And ever since then, he's been slowly kind of like gaining his way back into like becoming a he lost against Oleksandr Usyk, and then he gained a world championship.
I mean, through the email. Yeah,
Through email. So okay, so this goes back to the main point. Oleksandr Usyk lost his belt through politics, right? To be honest, he should be the undisputed world champion, but through politics, he's not. And now it's Daniel Dubois. There's a video of Oleksandr Usyk telling Daniel, he's like, "Don't worry, bro. You're gonna become a world champion, but it's not your turn. It's not your turn. It's not your time. I'm your daddy."
Did he actually say that?
He didn't say I'm your daddy, but that's basically like humbly speaking, because Oleksandr Usyk is a Christian man. He was like, "It's not your time." And through politics, now he's not the undisputed champion. That's the next person in line. Oleksandr Usyk is winning that. I've bet too many times against Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk is a GOAT. I can't bet against him after this.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, Oleksandr Usyk, when it comes to skills, he's in a different league compared to the other heavyweight division. The talent pool is there. The heavyweight division has been sparking up. I mean, you've had Martin Bacoli, you had Big Bang's Zile Zhang, Daniel Dubois' resurgence, Joseph Parker, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, but none of them, as of right now, come close to the level that Oleksandr Usyk is in. So, yeah, we can pin up Daniel Dubois up against Oleksandr Usyk. Like I said, Daniel Dubois in the moment of his career, the best moment in his prime. But he lacks for me the skills necessary to decipher a puzzle like Oleksandr Usyk, which you just can't pick anyone against Oleksandr Usyk at this point of his career.
Yeah, well, this is one thing. Listen, I completely agree. I definitely think Usyk is that guy in the heavyweight division. But he's 38 years old. How many times can he continue to replicate this type of performance? How long can he maintain this level? Because recently, I feel like we've been seeing a lot of older type of fighters continue to perform very well. You know, Arthur Betterby, he's 38 as well, I believe, or 39 maybe. I don't even know. He's very old, and he just became undisputed at light heavyweight. We also have Terrence Crawford, who's also up there. He's getting up there in age, 37 years old. Once again, he's still at the top level. Usyk, 38 years old, at the top level. I don't know how long they can continue it, though. You know, each fighter is different, and especially in the heavyweight division where anything can happen. So, I don't know. How long can Usyk keep this up?
That is true. Age will play a factor. Of course, the heavyweight division is kind of different compared to the other weight divisions in the aspect that it seems as if heavyweights seem to hit their primes as they get older. I mean, you saw like in the aspect of George Foreman, Larry Holmes, those great fighters like that. Oleksandr Usyk is now going up there. So it seems as if the older they get, the better they become. But Daniel Dubois, I mean, he's 27 years old. He's a very young heavyweight champion. And maybe this could be a change of tides in the aspect of the hierarchy when it comes to the heavyweight division. Age could potentially play a factor. It all depends on Usyk. It depends on if he has really, he's wasted his gas tank with these Tyson Fury fights, because even though he did beat Tyson Fury, and I do think he beat him clearly, there's still Tyson Fury. I mean, Tyson Fury is a huge heavyweight. I mean, that's going to take a huge toll on you damage-wise. And I know the camp leading up for these Tyson Fury fights were probably excruciating. They were probably tough. And the fight itself were tough. Usyk has always came out, with battle scars. Has came out hurt throughout the both fights. So these two fights were big. They could play a big role in Usyk's longevity when it comes to his career. So we just kind of have to see how he is for his next couple fights.
Yeah, these are some hard ass fights from Tyson Fury. Yeah, like you said, I think it's kind of crazy seeing how Usyk himself is kind of acknowledging that like the heavyweight division is very big. It's he recently got on the mic and was talking about like the reason why he was saying he was gonna go down to cruiserweight was because he's eating all like way too much and he doesn't enjoy being at the heavyweight limit because he's fighting guys that are like really big. I mean, his couple fights, Anthony Joshua, another huge heavyweight, and he beat him twice. Tyson Fury, the biggest heavyweight we have at the moment, he beat him twice. I mean, it does take a toll on you, and especially even mentality-wise, it takes a toll. So, I don't know. We'll have to see what Usyk really wants to do, but I hope that he definitely stays in the heavyweight division.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that we spoke about Usyk, what's next for Tyson Fury? I mean, he's suffered his second consecutive loss against the same guy. This is not his year. I mean, he mentioned leading up to this fight that he was 3 months away from his family, his wife, very locked into the fight, and that we were going to see the best version. He was very confident coming up into this fight, and he came up short once again. And what's next for Tyson Fury? Is he looking potentially for trying to aim for a trilogy, even though it's not really at reach anymore, but maybe he could try to wiggle something in there? Or is he going to look for maybe an Anthony Joshua showdown at Wembley for next year, or possibly maybe even the break? Because I personally think after this fight, Fury is going to take a break. I mean, it's kind of Fury doesn't really. I mean, his last big fight was against Deontay Wilder before the Usyk fights. I mean, you can't count the Ngannou fights because he didn't train him at all. You can't count the Chisora trilogy that no one was asking for. Dillian White, even that fight, I mean, it was a mismatch. So this was his first time taking on a tough challenge in Oleksandr Usyk in a very long time, and he did it. He spent the whole 2024 training. And Tyson Fury's 35, 36 years old. He's older. He's not as active as a lot of these other fighters who have more motivation to be a champion in the heavyweight division, like Daniel Dubois, who's been fighting nonstop ever since he lost against Oleksandr Usyk. Even Anthony Joshua has been fighting a lot more than Tyson Fury. So I think personally that Tyson Fury will take a break for a bit. We might not even see him until the ends of 2025. So that's just my honest prediction. And maybe even after the ends of 2025, depending on how much money Turkey's willing to splurge, it might be enough to attract him sooner than that. Who knows? But as of right now, I think he's going to take a big break.
Well, Turkey is willing to splurge, infinite money because he just has all the money in the world, I guess. But honestly, I think in theory, it sounds nice that Fury take a break. But in practice, I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, he's one of those fighters that boxing kind of saved his life. The reason why he's not, a bum 400 pounds on a couch is because of boxing. So I feel like if he would have stopped boxing, it'd be bad mentally for him. So I think he has to stay in the gym, at least training in the lab, cooking something up. So I can't see him taking a break. Hopefully he stays. I mean, for him, his best case scenario is that Oleksandr Usyk does go down to cruiserweight. All the titles are then in the air, and he can fight any other heavyweight, which I believe he's still a great heavyweight, and he could probably win even against Anthony Joshua. I was gonna say Deontay Wilder, but that's in the past, right? Yeah. Even all the other heavyweights, Danny Dubois, that'd be an interesting fight as well. So I think for him, the best case scenario would be Usyk vacate all the belts and just go down to cruiserweight.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Oleksandr Usyk can do whatever he wants because he is the champion. And so if he wants to unify at heavyweight, he can do that. But if he wants to go down to cruiserweight, that's within his reach, if that's what he wants. But, I mean, boys, we are at the end of 2024. 2025 is upon us, right? There is one more fight, if we can get into it, next year. That's in January, which is David Benavides versus Morrell. January.
It's February 1st.
February 1st. February 1st.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about that later.
It's like, yeah, I mean, we still got some time. We got like at least a little over a month until that fight happens. But
and that's going to be a good fight because it's been cooking up like crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of drama has been going up in the lead up, so we'll definitely have our thoughts.
Belts being thrown.
Yeah,
shoving
that was crazy.
at the face off. David Benavides looking fat. Yeah, those memes of him floating around. Yeah, my bad. I mean,
that was uncalled.
Yeah, my bad, bro. My bad. But it should be good. I mean, it's cooking. A lot of people were saying, David Benavides is bringing in a different type of energy for this fight, and I think he's making it a bit more personal because he's saying, David Morrow has been calling for it. Now he's got it. What's up? So yeah, I think right now I'm willing to let it marinate. When you marinate something, you put the sauces, you put the spices in
All right,
there.
bro, you're not a chef, bro.
You sit it down for a little bit, and then you let it, soak up into it, and then once you cook it up, that's what I think this fight's gonna be. So until then, I'm willing to let it marinate a little bit until we can reach February. But
actually, the only reason why I bring that up is because, to be honest, as a Tyson Fury fan, going into Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury, I really thought it was going to be a 50-50 type of fight. And then this is the first time in boxing history that AI judged a boxing fight, kind of like unofficially. And then going into it kind of felt like a 50-50 type of fight, David and Goliath type of situation. And then it turned out that AI judged it as a 90-10 type of a situation percentage wise, because it was he gave it a
10-2 for Usyk.
Yeah.
But then again, it's also the
and
first.
Okay.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, I still think that the fight was still close. It was more competitive than what AI gave it. Of course, this was just more of an experimental in the aspect of seeing that, how it functions, how it's able to be utilized. Of course, it's not going to be perfect right away. And like we talked about earlier, even if, let's say, AI, the judge, was going to be used as an actual outcome, a lot of people would have been so mad about that 10-2. They would have been pissed off. And I don't think that was a real resemblance of what the fight actually was. Yeah, so there's still some things to tinker with AI. I think you're right, though, that this fight was more 50-50 than anything. It was not a 90-10 what the scorecard gave it. I mean, but then again, who knows at this point, the only thing that matters is Oleksandr Usyk got the unanimous decision win over Tyson Fury this past weekend in Saudi Arabia, as he retained his status as heavyweight champion. And he's looking for big fights, maybe going down cruiserweight, staying at heavyweight. A lot of options for him. He's got a wide variety of them, and we'll see what's next for Oleksandr Usyk. As for Tyson Fury, he's still got that big money fight in Wembley Stadium against Anthony Joshua, which is a fight that the homeboy Turkey is, I know, salivating. It's probably the best time to make it now.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
I mean, Anthony Joshua is coming off from a KO loss to Daniel Dubois. Tyson Fury is coming off from 2 losses to Oleksandr Usyk. I mean, it only makes sense that this next fight should be them fighting each other in Wembley, and maybe, the loser from that fight potentially seeks retirement. So it should be a big money fight, a big bragging right, especially in the UK. It's been a fight that's been marinating since, it's been years, like 8-9 years since this fight has been being talked about. So hopefully we see it sometime for 2025. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about, go over for this past weekend's fight? Nope. Well, let us know down below what were your guys' thoughts about this. I keep saying undisputed. Oh my gosh!
It's because it is undisputed in the heart.
In our heart, it's undisputed. But according to boxing, for this unified championship title fight between Oleksandr Usyk as he took on Tyson Fury and was able to retain his titles via unanimous decision. Let us know, do you think Tyson Fury is no longer the same Tyson Fury? What's next for him? Do you think he should aim towards Anthony Joshua? Maybe aim towards trying to fight Daniel Dubois? Maybe steal Daniel Dubois from Oleksandr Usyk? That would be crazy. Let us know about Oleksandr Usyk. Do you think he fits better as a heavyweight or going back down to cruiserweight and dominating there? Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all forms of social media. We are on X, TikTok, and Instagram. Lastly, don't forget to join our Discord. We're trying to build up community, and you guys joining will be greatly appreciated. This was Pablo, and I was Ruzo and Asa, and this was the Last Round Podcast. Thank you for watching.